a 12-year-old Sony point and shoot, and a cheap mist filter. That's my low-budget Ricoh GRIII HDF. Hi, and thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Phil, aka Phil, and today I want to talk about my Sony RX100, the OG one, Mark I. Since I'm having a lot of fun with old gear lately, I thought I will also share my experience with you. If you're in the camera space, you might know that Ricoh has released in April a new GR camera, the GR3 HDF, and most people were unfortunately disappointed because everyone was expecting the Ricoh GR4. But nevertheless, the GR3 with the HDF, the high diffusion filter, is an excellent camera and produces quite unique pictures with the integrated diffusion filter. But still, for me personally, I was not ready to drop $1,000 for a camera which for me personally somehow feels outdated, because I'm expecting the Ricoh GR4 in the next 1 and 2 years, and I personally can wait that long because I have enough cameras to play around. But still, I wanted to have a small compact camera with the diffusion look, and that's why I got myself the old OG Sony RX100, which was released in 2012. So at the time of this recording, it's about 12 years, so quite old tech. This camera is a point and shoot, has 20 megapixels and only, so to say, a 1-inch sensor, so you can't compare this camera with the GR lineup from Ricoh, because these cameras have an APC sensor and also more megapixels, 24. And that was my family coming home, so I had to interrupt my recording, and that's the reason for the change of light. But where was I? As I mentioned, I wanted to kind of emulate the Ricoh GR3 with the HDF filter. That's why I basically slapped a cheap diffusion filter on my RX100. Depending on where you live, these cameras goes around $100. If the camera has almost mint condition, it can go up until I think $200. I paid for mine almost mint condition, 150 euros, and the diffusion filter itself costs about 20 euros, I think. This one is from KNF Concept. I will link it below in the description, so relatively affordable. But what kind of image quality can you get out of this old tech device with the diffusion filter? Will it make any difference? For this check, I went out and shot with this combination my first time on the streets. The images didn't turn out anything special, but yeah, basically you get this classic diffusion filter. And since I recorded that as a POV video, just lean back, enjoy, and write below in the comments what do you think about the image quality. Since my initial thought was to use the RX100 as a black and white camera, I turned the JPEG settings to black and white and adjusted the settings regarding saturation and contrast. The images you see in this video are straight out of camera with these settings and the diffusion filter. Yes, what do you think about this 12-year-old camera? Does the diffusion filter make any difference? Did you notice anything? For me as a shooter, it was quite fun to use this camera because this is such a small camera, and shooting street with that, nobody looks at you because you basically look like an old-fashioned tourist using a point-and-shoot camera instead of your smartphone. But this camera itself, it's an amazing piece of tech because the build quality is a very high standard. I think the body is magnesium something. It feels very, very high quality, and also the weight is quite nice in the hand. The only thing that you need to attach if you want a little bit more ergonomics is this piece of grip, which Sony sells still until today separately. So you just glue it onto the camera body, but this gives it a nice grip. What makes it also quite special, in my opinion, also for a beginner camera, if you want to dive into photography a little bit more, is that this camera has the ability to shoot RAW, and you are able to set all the settings, the exposure, triangle settings, ISO, shutter speed and aperture on manual, so you can have full control over this camera. And having the control is also quite fun because you are able to have this control dial, and this basically it's a control ring, and you can depending on the settings you're shooting, you can adjust this or set this up for your shutter speed or your aperture. So that's basically quite nice in my opinion. I think I'm losing a lot of light right now, so I have to speed up. Another cool thing about the RX100 lineup from Sony back then is that the lenses are quite fast. At the widest angle from the Mark 1, the aperture opens up until 1.8. So quite nice for low light shots at the 28mm focal length equivalent. This one zooms out until, I'm not sure which focal length this is. It goes to 100mm. So you have a variable focal length from 28mm until 100, which is quite nice to have also on the streets. As I already mentioned, this is not a serious comparison to the Ricoh GR lineup, but if you are eyeballing towards the Ricoh GR but right now don't have the money for that camera, look at older point-and-shoots like this Sony RX100. Also surprised me, besides the high build quality, is also Sony back then already had relatively quite good autofocus. And yeah, it's quite fun to shoot with this small little camera, and the image quality can keep up with younger cameras, so to say, especially when you're a master of the craft. I'm just a hobbyist, so I'm still learning photography, so I know that I don't maximize the potential of these cameras in general, even this small one. Alright, I'm shooting right now at ISO 10,000, so have to wrap up this video. Yes, hopefully you had a little bit of fun watching this video about an old piece of tech. Comments below what's your opinion about this, what your thoughts are about the RX100 Mark 1 or any other point-and-shoot camera, which most people disregard because they are old. But I think in the camera space right now, especially small point-and-shoot cameras are getting a comeback. And yes, this is the one I have right now in my possession. And yeah, here and then I really like to shoot with this camera simply because of the size. And because I decided to wait for the Ricoh GR4 instead of jumping on the GR3 for now. Alright, if you are still here until this point, thank you very much for your time. You are the one who deserves the like for that. And if you want to support my small little channel, just click on the affiliate links below in the description, or buy me a coffee, also link in the description. And if you want to see more videos on my channel, just click on one of these and have a nice day.